Hey gang, today we are taking a look at this ambient beauty from Wampler. This is the Catacombs. It is a dual reverb and delay pedal. Now you might be thinking like, sweet, now I have a Wampler delay and I have Wampler reverb. And yes, that is what it is and it works fantastically well for that. However, where this gets extra brownie points is the way they work together. If you ever watch Brian Wampler's channel, you'll hear him say often, like, I don't do clones. I like to take something and then push it into somewhere new that he's looking for. And that's really what I hear happening with this. The delays and the reverbs all are built to work together and to create the sound of the Catacombs pedal. Not necessarily like, oh, I'm going to get this just for the tape delay sound or just for the spring reverb sound or something like that, which they do great. But there's a lot of pedals that do just that. This has a definite personality. There are several ways to control that personality. One is the series parallel switch in the back. While there are two effects, you get to choose if you want them running series, which means running one into the other, delays into reverb, or if you want them running parallel, as in your signal goes in, gets its reverb treatment over here, gets its delay treatment over here. They don't touch until they're blended together at the output. So there's a slightly different sound to those. You could maybe create more texture with the serial version when they're going into each other, but more clarity in the parallel when they're separate. Here they're running parallel. Now they're running in series. Notice how in series everything sort of mushes together in this beautiful wash. It's like this giant swirl. That's a really cool option that you get on the Catacombs. There's an expression pedal, super fun to use. And then there are these two tiny little futuristic MIDI ports. Now it does come with a cable that just plugs in here, goes to a traditional like 5-pin MIDI, but Wampler has released the new Syntax. And what this is it's an add-on. It doesn't have to be used with the Wampler pedal, but it does work just so seamlessly. It's a MIDI foot switch, so easily just goes up and down if you set it to MIDI. There's also tap tempo and latching mode. So there's different ways to program this, but I gotta tell you, easily just taking it out of the box, plugging this simple version of the MIDI cable into the Catalyst, bam, that's all I needed to do. I set this to MIDI, and now one direction scrolls presets up, and the other scrolls presets down. The controls for the pedal are really straightforward. Now there are two layers because you have to control the delay and the reverb. In its standard mode, you're mostly controlling the delay with also having the reverb blend available to you. If you want to get deeper into the reverb controls, you simply push and hold the bypass switch, and now there's alternate controls for those same knobs. And what's great is if you just push and hold, you'll see it blink, and now it'll go into the mode where it is alternate, and you could just control the reverb. Hit the button again, and you are back to the delay controls. Presets 1 through 8 are available on the front panel from that preset switch. And one other thing I want to mention, which I think is great and underrated, it only takes 130 milliamps of power. So if you have a pedal board and you're counting those milliamps, or maybe you only have one slot for a 500 milliamp, but you're like, I love my reverbs and delays and my ambient awesomeness, 130 is like nothing on one of those power supplies for your pedal board. So it could just slot in on almost any pedal board just like that. Let's start off by running through the presets, which are very nicely designed. That whole opening, I was just using presets. I barely tweaked anything. I just went to the next one, thought like, that's nice, I'll use that. Did the little tap tempo and it, bam, ready to go. So let me show you these, presets. That's the Wampler Catacombs, gang. I think this is absolutely killer. It is great when a delay reverb pedal has a personality, and this one has it like bonkers. It just is like oozing swirl and wash. Really love it. It's really malleable too. It has one of the most beautiful plates I've heard at any price range too. That's quite lovely in there. So check this out. I'll put some links below. If you're new, please subscribe. And if you just watched this video, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.